Alright, then it's time for a Shen game, and this is actually a ranked 5's Shen game. And it's mostly playing with friends, so yay. Anyways, my team comp is rather silly, as you can see. We have AD carry Teemo, mid lane Ezreal, which is not really silly, but given the rest of the composition, it is. Top lane Lulu, jungle Shen, and a support Annie. Now, we catch the enemy team in their jungle, and we force Lee Sin to use his flash, so I'm not too worried about the early game. Still, I start off red buff because starting off anywhere else will slow me down too much. Because Shen at level 1 has a really hard time taking the big camps without smite. And of course, I leave the blue camp since it's not exactly the most useful for me. I get grub, I get red, and it doesn't matter. Anyways, I try to do a flash dash play against the Jinx, but she stops me that cold. We do manage to get the Nautilus right now, dead, so he dies. And then I die, and then Teemo flashes forward and uses his heal, so it's kind of a really bad situation for us. Teemo is already at a disadvantage versus Jinx and Nautilus, and they kind of burned all their summoner spells to do that. Now, I'm surprised that Lee Sin didn't invade, given Lee Sin has a really good chance of destroying Shen. I would say his fear of not having flash kept him from doing so, but blue was wide open. I go down mid, I dash forward, casting flashes, so that's still a successful gank. I can make an obvious return, but I can't find where the ward was, so I just sort of leave. I go top to gank the Rumble as well, and I will also get his flash. I managed to taunt him, Lulu goes after, and yeah, you saw Rumble flash too, so that's 2 successful ganks. They weren't kill ganks, but remember, even if you gank somebody and you take a summoner spell from them, it's very strong, especially if you're playing in a sort of team game, a pre-made, because your teammates will be smart enough or communicative enough to tell you what's being used and when your chances are appropriate. Like in this case, we know Kassadin's flash is gone. I have a feeling the Lee Sin would gank him, and we did see him in the wards. So we wait for Ezreal to sort of get them into the bush and line them up. So when they're lined up, I managed to taunt both of them. Ezreal's able to use his ultimate as well and kill the Kassadin. Unfortunately, I get killed, so it's still just a trade-off 1-for-1, but it's better that Ezreal gets the kill. No, that couldn't have been. That usually doesn't happen in solo queue. Me and the Ezreal pretty much lined them up. We're like, oh, I'll wait till they're getting into the bush, face checking, taunted them both, and Ezreal knew that was the perfect time to use his ultimate. So that was perfectly done. I used my ultimate here on Annie because I thought they were about to dunk her, but that unfortunately ends up being a waste for my ultimate. Now, I forgot to mention runes and masteries. And runes and masteries, it's attack speed red, attack damage quince. Though I believe it's some combination of both of them in both of the colors to get just a bit more attack speed. Armor yellow, magic resistance blues, and 9-21-0 masteries. As you can see, it's just kind of a basic Cinderhulk build. After Cinderhulk, you can really build yourself in any way. I've gone in Shen games where I built Static Shiv and Trinity Force and just split push all day while my teammates fought. I would juggle and then proceed to dominate their lane because my top lane teammate picked someone who was more of an early fighter, right, being along with the teammates and whatnot. But in this game, I'm building myself full tank since we don't really have a front line, and it's going to be up to me. Lee Sin stole my red, but at this point he really can't fight me 1v1. So I give chase, and even if the enemy teammates come to protect them, they really won't amount to much. Ezreal also backs me up, and he is also able to take a kill from the Lee Sin and get the red buff back. So it's just kind of a buff transfer right there. Now that my ultimate is up, we get to do a really cool play. Watch what the Teemo does right here. He's telling me, oh, get ready, I'm going to stealth. And I know what's coming up. Remember, if Shen uses his ultimate on a stealth target, they can't see the ultimate come in. So we go in, I just taunt through both of them, and the Annie also had used her Tibbers on top of them, and we completely decimate them. It's a beautiful gank. It's boner throbbing worthy. So hooray for us on that matter. Jungle Shen, I still don't think he's exactly viable in the jungle. I mean, he's very usable. You saw my sustain. It's ridiculously, stupidly strong. My damage is actually higher than you'd expect, though not AoE or as consistent as some other tanks at the moment. But the problem is he's just too damn slow. Too damn slow and pretty gold reliant, honestly, compared to other tanks. Because if you're not tanky, you dash in, you're just gonna get yourself killed. I mean, that kind of goes for a lot of champions, but Shen doesn't really have any initiation or any other means of controlling the enemy outside of putting himself in a huge line of danger. So, yeah, he's not really made for the jungle at the moment. He's really strong in very slow games, where you're expected just to farm up and really not do a lot of action-oriented things. So, he can fit in those, though that doesn't mean he can't do some early game shenanigans. Like you saw, my ganking power early on is actually pretty threatening to the enemy team, so much so that they avoided me using flashes or just straight out getting killed. So yeah, it's just his slow clearing and his bad matchups. Like if Lee Sin was very brave and he didn't use his flash, I would have, if it was me, I would have gone and tried to kill me multiple times. And by the way, he steals the dragon here because I just can't outsmite the kick. Fortunately for us, at least we pick up the Nautilus kill, I believe. Though that's still not enough to make up for losing the dragon. Anyways, as I was saying, Shen has some matchups that can completely abuse him. And if you keep Shen down, he snowballs really negatively. Like, he just doesn't do anything if he gets beaten down. The Cinderhulk helps him achieve certain relevance, and his infinite jungling can help him become strong regardless of how badly he got his ass kicked, even in the jungle. But it's still not fast enough. The game has sort of, picked up in pace quite a lot, and it's not really helping a lot of junglers. Well, a lot of champions like him. Slow and steady is not good right now. Nautilus, I believe, catches the Teemo. I'm sure because he kind of leaves and then I guess tries to use something in the invisible frames and then goes back and manages to kill a Teemo. So I don't know if he actually saw him disappear or if he figured that was probably the best position he could have hid. So otherwise he would have seen him run, right? I'm taking red buff every single time, even though I could give it to Teemo or Ezreal, mostly because it could be strong for peeling or some sort. Like here, I just dash forward to use my Randuins as my smite and then tag them with red, for instance. I'm just slowing them down. That's about because the backup I have is strong enough to obliterate whoever I manage to catch or whoever I manage to slow. In another instance, the red buff will actually be pivotal at helping kill some players. Though I think it was actually pivotal in this to increase my tiny bits of damage. Now, most of my ultimates in this haven't really been successful. One of them was a really good ultimate, but most of these ultimates come a little too late because in our communication is a little bit not proper during this mid game, so that's why the enemy team is starting to recover and bring about our doom, I guess. In this case, we communicate and tell ourselves we can take these guys 3v2. I catch the Jinx, I start dealing damage to her, and the tower also focuses her because of the taunt. We kill her quite quickly, so she can't contribute to any of this. So these two tankier champions, they're not going to amount to anything. We kill the Nautilus, we kill the Rumble. It's a 3 versus 2. Quite simple as that. The taunt there was very pivotal on the Jinx because it forced her to attack me, and the tower focused her before the Nautilus had a chance to get the tower on top of him. So that was enough damage we needed to kill him. Also, the enemy team here has been a little bit hasty throughout the whole thing. I mean, even though I ended up dying by the Jinx rocket, they've been wasting a lot of their spells on whoever they catch first. So if they catch me first, you see them use ultimates and abilities and whatnot, and it leaves them at a disadvantage. They're really hyper aggressive when they really shouldn't. In this case, it leads to them being, just wiped out. Jinx dies, Lee Sin dies, and then Nautilus dies without achieving anything. They dove too far without knowing where my teammates were. And they were punished as a result of it. Now I go clear up top, especially because I have my teleport and I can, prevent anything from happening. Rumble tries to go back right now, and I just flash dash, grab him, and he gets killed. So pretty much an easy kill here. And me and Lulu both have teleports, so we're pushing up top. My teammates down bottom are getting into a bit of a scuffle, and unfortunately they're not able to kill the Jinx, so this kind of turns up against them. Lulu tries to teleport in. I tried to use my ultimate as well, and it didn't amount to anything, so it's not a worthwhile trade-off. I do get top tower though, so at least that's worth it. And as a result, I'm also pushing mid and getting myself super farmed. If there's one thing I do love about Shen is his farming potential is crazy. Again, because of his infinite jungle and about Cinderhulk or whatever. His farming potential is amazing once you get items. I mean, early on it's kind of pretty much dull, but later on you just kind of sit in the middle of the pack and let the minions get burned alive, or if you have the static shave, you just electrify them and then go about your day. Now we're about even with the enemy team, though. If you look at our farm, it's miles better than them. So we're still much more ahead. Our fighting potential is huge because our teammates have more completed items than them. We're going to beat them by the sheer power of money. So, like, here I'm at, I don't catch Lee Sin, but we wipe the floor with the rest of their teammates. It's just kind of a bloodbath, right? Like, again, they didn't farm properly. Kills aren't worth as much as farm. If you have to lose like 13 CS to get a kill, it might not exactly be worth it in the grand scheme of things. I mean, if it denies them farm, then definitely perfect, beautiful. But in a lot of cases, the enemy team went for kills when they should have just got for control of the map. Like right now, I know they're hanging by the skin of their teeth, but they're still going for very risky kills, or they're wasting too many resources on champions they really shouldn't. I dash forward, catch Nautilus, catch Rumble, and they both fall. Kassadin is trying very hard to get a kill on pretty much low worth targets, but I mean they drop me, but then he gets dropped, and I believe the Jinx is gonna get dropped too right now. Yeah, she gets dropped too. The Rumble gets CC'd down and gets dropped too. I know it's desperate plays calls for desperate measures, but coming one at a time isn't exactly the smartest thing. My teammates back off though for whatever reason, and sort of this is kind of disappointed about that. We could have won right then and there, but of course, don't lose respect for them for doing that. Kassadin goes in, dash forward towards him and catch him. Use my ultimate on Ezreal just in case, and we kill the Kassadin. We turn on the Jinx, and then we're able to catch her too. I dash forward just to try to apply a slow, but unfortunately the Ezreal guns are down. And with that, it's pretty much a GG. Ranked 5's game against a team that seemed to at least be coordinated, and it was quite fun. And that was a good example of Shen's strength when used in a coordinated team, for the most part at least. So hooray for Shen and friends! Remember, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Make sure to also check out the sponsors that make this channel possible. Links to their websites are in the description below.